What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of ENA We Got Time. As always, I'm your host, Alex, here with another week of NFL picks, man. We over the hump of the halfway. We almost 3/4 of the way there. I just want to say I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in each and every week. Everybody's been commenting, getting their picks in. If you don't know, we do a $25 giveaway each week under each video. So under this video, you would comment your picks, give a total score for one game, any game, it doesn't matter. Take both team scores, put it together, and then add that to the comment just so there's no ties and there's no confusion. You know, a couple people would have won because there would have been a tie, but one person didn't put that. So just want to go over the rules real quick. But let's start off, man. Thursday night football, man. We got a nice divisional game. Bills at Patriots. Bills coming this game. Couple of injuries. Edmonds, linebacker, he's out with a heel. And Gregory Rousseau from the U, he's out with an ankle. AJ Espinosa, he's out with an ankle. The center, Mitch, he's questionable with an elbow. As far as the Patriots go, Andrews is questionable with the center. Another offensive lineman, Wynn, is questionable. Harris, the running back, he's questionable with a thigh. Jabril Peppers is questionable to safety. And Jacoby Myers, one of their best playmakers on offense, he's also questionable. I like what I saw from the Patriots last week. Nice win. Bills, they barely pulled it out, but this is a divisional game, so I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I'm taking the home team. I got the Patriots. I like what they're doing right now. The Bills, they're playing some real sloppy football the past couple weeks, so for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and say I got the Patriots 24-21. Next, we got Commanders at my New York Football Giants. So we're going to be quick about this, man. We got Turner, the guard for the Commanders. He's questionable with ankle. Day, the wide receiver, he's questionable. And St. Jose, I think, for Commanders, he's questionable. And Chase Young, he's questionable. Was supposed to play last week. Maybe it was just a precautionary thing, but they ended up getting the dub anyway, so he was not really needed all that much. As far as my Giants go, Shane Lemieux, the guard, he's questionable. Evan Neal, he might be coming back, but he's also questionable. Fabian Moreau, the cornerback, he's questionable with a rib injury. Daniel Bellinger, the guy who almost lost a lot of eyesight, he's questionable. Garrett Brightwell, he's also questionable. He had an illness. I don't think it was injury related. He was just sick, I believe. You know, the Giants, we have a lot of guys out. Even with all these guys who are questionable that may come back. Right now, the Commanders are playing really good football. And today's Tuesday, if anybody didn't notice. So don't kill me on who I say is questionable and who's out. That may change throughout the week. But we just have too many injuries. So for that reason only, I'm going to go ahead and say I got the Commanders 21-20. All right, next we got Steelers at Falcons. For the Steelers, Najee Harris, he went out Monday night, kind of came back in, but he was hobbly. He's questionable with abdomen injury. Witherspoon, the corner, he's questionable. Jaylen Warren, the backup running back, he's also questionable. For the Falcons, Dalton, defensive tackle, he's questionable. And the offensive tackle, I don't want to say his name wrong, but he's out. The Steelers got him a good win. Kenny Pickett missed a couple throws Monday night, but he seemed to look pretty well overall. Like I say, he sailed a couple throws in the first half, but overall he played some pretty decent football. Falcons are still much alive for the playoffs. They're right behind Tampa Bay, who also lost last week, so we'll just have to see how that goes. But I like what the Steelers are doing right now. TJ Watt is going to be his third game. Now, The Colts, they did a good job of containing TJ Watt, but I think this is the week he finally gets him another sack. So I got the Steelers win this game 24-20. Next, we got Packers at Bears. For the Packers, Devondre Campbell, he's questionable, the linebacker. Romeo Doubs, the wide receiver, he might be coming back this week. I'm not too sure. He's questionable. The cornerback, Jean Charles, he's questionable. Aaron Rodgers had a rib injury. If you didn't know, he left the game last week. Never came back. Excuse me, Jordan Love did pretty good. For the Bears, the cornerback, Kyler Gordon, he's questionable. Fields, he still has that dislocated non-throwing shoulder, so he's questionable. Mooney, the wide receiver who I was pretty high on, his season is, if I'm not mistaken, over. But nonetheless, he's on IR with an ankle. And Eddie Jackson, he is also on IR, and I believe his season might be over as well. From what I saw last week, Jordan Love played some really good football, you know, and I really liked some of the throws I saw. It does not hurt that, you know, everybody's thrown to, I believe, is over 6'3", except with the exception of Randall Cobb, who just is a very savvy veteran and knows how to get really open. You know, Watson, I want to say, is 6'4", and Lazard 6'5", and Tunyon's like 6'6". Nothing wrong. I'm just saying having a bigger target to throw to is really going to help his development if he's going to stay with this team, or if he's going to continue to start, especially this game against the Bears. Eddie Jackson, safety, he's out, as I said earlier, so that's really going to hurt. But I got the Packers 27-17. The Packers, they look good. The Bears, they didn't really do that well last week, especially with Fields possibly not playing. Yeah, I'm going with the Packers. Next, we got Jags at Lions. For the Jags, very short injury report. Travis Etienne had a foot sprain. He's questionable. From what I'm hearing, he's going to be good to go. Brown, the center for the Lions, he's questionable. The linebacker, Harris, he is on IR now. The guard, Jackson, he's questionable. And Jeff Okudah, he's also questionable. The Jags, they pulled out a really solid win last week. They beat the Ravens at the very end. Trevor Lawrence looked really good. The backup running back, I cannot remember his name for Jacksonville, but he played exceptionally well when Etienne went down. The Lions looked really good last week, except for the very end against the Bills. I really thought towards the end they were going to win that game, but a couple simple mistakes, a couple timeouts didn't get called, a couple guys just didn't get lined up fast enough, or whatever the case may be. Just time management overall why the Lions lost. Jags are playing really good football. Lions are playing really competitive football. Also, I'm taking the Lions in this one. They're playing at home. I know the Jags are still viable for a playoff spot, but I really like the Lions at home. They're playing really well, and they putting up a lot of points. I got the Lions 30-24. Oh, also, and Hutchinson, he's a bright spot over there on that defense. Next, we got Jets at Vikings. For the Jets, Davis, a safety, he's questionable with a hamstring. Carter has an ankle sprain, the running back, not too sure if he's going to play. And Sheldon Rankins, the defensive tackle, he's questionable. As for the Vikings, Darsaw, the offensive tackle, he's questionable. The cornerback, Evans, he's questionable. Dalvin Tomlinson, former New York Giant, he's questionable. And Andrew Booth is out for the season with a knee injury. And the Jets are playing some good football. Mike White looked really good last week, albeit it was against a lesser opponent. The Vikings, they just coming off a pretty bad, not a bad loss, but like a heartbreaking loss in a sense against the Patriots. But it's still Bill Belichick. Their defense is still pretty solid. And Mac Jones played a pretty good game. Mike White, I think this is going to be a good game, but I think the Vikings win this game. They're playing at home. I got the Vikings 21-17. Next, we got Titans at Eagles. For the Titans, the defensive end, Danico, I don't want to mess up his last name. He's questionable. Bullock, the kicker, is questionable. The center, Jones, is questionable. As for the Eagles, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Go ahead and unblock me, my man. He's out with a kidney injury. Eagles they still rolling. The Titans just lost to the Bengals with, I don't know. I got the Eagles 23-17. I think the Titans, they're playing some decent football, but unless Derrick Henry just goes for like 200, then I don't see them winning. Yeah, I got the Eagles 23-17. Shouts out to Treylon Burks. He's really proven me wrong this year, by the way. He's really playing some really good football these last couple of weeks. Broncos at Ravens. For the Broncos, the cornerback Williams is out. Randy Gregory is on IR with a knee injury. KJ Hamler is also questionable, the wide receiver, and Jared Jeudy, he is questionable. Now, as far as the Ravens, J.K. Dobbins, the running back, he is questionable with a knee. He's returned to practice, so that's always good to have guys come back from injury. Kyle Hamilton, the safety, he's questionable. Isaiah Likely's questionable. Hopefully he can come back. When Mark Andrews went down, he did pretty well. So I'm curious to see how those two are going to play on the field together if they line both of them up on the field. And the offensive tackle, Ronnie Stanley, is questionable. Broncos are playing some really bad football right now. Nobody believes in them. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about the quarterback, but it is what it is. The Broncos overall aren't playing well. The Ravens are playing at home, and they're coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Jags. They lost it in the last seconds. So I got the Ravens winning this game 21-14. This is going to be a handily 21-14. It's not going to be like, oh, it was close. Like, no, I think the Broncos scored a garbage time touchdown. That's why I think the Ravens is going to be like that. Browns at Texans. So finally, Deshaun Watson is finally here. Time to see what he's going to do. The Browns, they won a couple games with Jacoby Brissett. I think he's, for a backup, I think he did. He had some pretty good spots, had some pretty bad spots, but the Browns, they have a pretty okay team. Deshaun Watson coming in is really going to help. I assume he'll be pretty rusty. I'm assuming they maybe have 15 to 20 throws for him and just let Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt do the rest. I'm not expecting him to go bonkers out there. I know he's playing at Texans, so hopefully he doesn't go out there trying to play hero ball, trying to show them up, saying, look what y'all missed, and end up costing them the game. But at the same time, Derek Stingley, he may be out for the Texans. So if he's out, then that could be a big problem. Greg Newsom's out for the Browns. That's the only personal injury report. Linebacker Christian Harris for the Texans is questionable. Rex Burkhead, he has a concussion. Overall, I think the Browns win this game. I just think they go in there and play complimentary football. I think, like I said, 15 to 20 throws for Deshaun just to get his feet wet. He'll probably roll out, maybe get a first down or extend a play, get a couple yards here and there. Probably give him about 3 to 5 runs. Maybe not design runs, but just some runs, just some improv that he's really good at. I got the Browns win this game 24-21. I don't think it's going to be a blowout whatsoever. Houston still has a really good run game, so it is what it is. But, yeah, that's how I'm calling it. Next, we got Seahawks at Rams. I think the Rams, Seahawks, Ryan Neal is questionable with arm and shoulder injury for the Seahawks. He's the only one who made the injury report. As far as the Rams, the center, Brian Allen, is questionable. The offensive tackle, Ty, I don't want to mess up his last name. So he's questionable. Stafford's also questionable. And Allen Robinson, IR, with a foot. I'm not going to spend too much time on this game. I believe the Rams, in a sense, have mailed it in. I think they know they're not going to the playoffs. Really, really bad season for them. A lot of injuries. A lot of guys ended up leaving or whatever the case may be. But just overall, they did not. They're not playing that well this year. I got the Seahawks bouncing back. I got the Seahawks winning this game 24-14. That's how I'm calling that. Next, we got Dolphins at 49ers, which I think might be the game of the week. For the Dolphins, Tyreek Hill is questionable. Teron Armstead, he's questionable. The offensive tackle with a pectoral. No, he's actually out with a pec injury. Excuse me. Austin Jackson's questionable with an ankle. Raheem Mostert is questionable. As far as the 49ers, prayers for Elijah Moore, man. Finally getting back in the groove of things, and he's already out again. He's out with a knee injury, and he's probably going to be out for, well, the 49ers probably make it to the playoffs, but he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. Maybe he might come back for the playoffs. He might shelf him. Who knows what'll happen, but hopefully he get well soon. Another Louisiana guy. I always want to see those guys do good. Spencer, the offensive tackle for the 49ers, he's questionable with ankles. C-Mac is questionable with the knee injury. Jimmy G has a knee injury. He's questionable. And Armstead, he's questionable. The 49ers have been playing some really good defense. I really like what they're doing. The offense can leave some things to be desired, but they do enough to get the job done. This week, I think the Dolphins go out there and show them that they're just superior. I know the 49ers offense may be better than the Dolphins defense, but I believe the Dolphins offense can put up points a lot faster and a lot more efficiently and quicker than the 49ers. So I got the Dolphins 30-21. Next, we got Chiefs at Bengals. For the Chiefs, Joe Thunley, the guard, he's questionable. Thornhill, the safety, is questionable. Kadarius Toney is questionable. As far as the Bengals, Jamar Chase is questionable and Joe Mixon is questionable. I'm not going to lie. The Chiefs are going to go in there and they're going to kick their ass. It's not going to be a blowout, but I know they're pretty pissed that they lost that AFC Championship game. So, yeah, I got the Chiefs winning this 31-27. No Jamar Chase. If no Jamar Chase and no Joe Mixon, this could easily be 31-21. McDuffie, who I also did an earlier video on before the year, y'all go check that out. I think he's been playing excellent at the cornerback position. A lot of teams, a lot of games aren't really thrown to his side for whatever reason. But, yeah, but barring injury, regardless of what happens, I got the Chiefs winning this 31-27. Chargers at Raiders. For the Chargers, we got Corey Linsley, concussion. Trey Pipkins, offensive tackle. He's questionable with the knee. The safety, Nazir, is questionable. Mike Williams is questionable as well, the wide receiver for the Raiders. Josh Jacobs, he has a calf strain. He's questionable. Anthony Verrett, the cornerback, he's on IR with a toe. The Raiders pulled out a really good win last week over Seattle, which was nice. My boy Josh Jacobs got a nice run. But the Chargers as well, they went to Arizona and won, and they were a little short-handed. I'm taking the Chargers in this game. They still have playoff hopes. The Raiders really do not. And I lost a lot saying the Raiders were going to win. I'm not doing it. So I got the Chargers 23-20. I expect to be another great in-division game, as I called prior. But, yeah, I got Chargers 23-20. Next, we got Colts at Cowboys. For the Colts, Kenny Moore, he's questionable with the shin. The tight end, Granson, he's questionable. Kwity Paye, the defensive end, he's questionable. For the Cowboys, Anthony Barr, the linebacker, is questionable. Jonathan Hankins, the defensive tackle, they just acquired not too long ago. He's questionable. And Kelvin Joseph is questionable. Right now, the Cowboys are clicking on all cylinders, which I really hate to say it, but they're playing some really good football. Their defense is playing really good. The Colts' offensive line, which at one point a year ago was their strength, is really becoming a real weakness on that offense. Not exactly too sure what's happened, but, and if I'm not mistaken, I want to say one or two guys from the offensive line went down for the Colts, and I'm not too sure they returned. They weren't on the injury report, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, man, but I got the Cowboys winning this game 24-17. They're just playing better football right now. The Colts, bad clock management towards the end of that Steelers game. So, yeah, I got Cowboys. And lastly, Saints at Bucks. Saints, Kamara, questionable, the running back. Lattimore, the corner, questionable. Pete Warner, linebacker, questionable. Peyton Turner, defensive end, questionable. Now for the Bucs, they got the list. Mike Edwards, the safety, has a concussion, so he's questionable. Sean Murphy-Bunting, the cornerback, he's questionable. The guard, Luke, is questionable. Russell Gage, the wide receiver, he's questionable. Leonard Fournette, the running back, is questionable. The Saints, honestly, I know the Saints get up to play the Bucs, especially Tom Brady. But a lot of those guys aren't really playing. Tampa Bay is still in first place of that division, even though they have a losing record. They said we were the NFC least last year. Anyway, that's besides the point. The Bucs are still in first place, and this will be a really good game for them to go in and win. Andy Dalton's still a Saints starting quarterback, so I'm still not picking them. I got the Bucs winning this game, 21-17. Very low scoring game. It's gonna be won by a field goal, but yeah, man, that's how I'm calling this week. I hope everybody stay safe, stay blessed over the Thanksgiving break. And that's it, man. That's another week of football in the books. I appreciate all y'all time each week, all y'all who tune in. I swear we appreciate this. And we got some more things coming at the end of the season. Y'all just stay tuned. As always, I'm your host, Alex. This is ENA We Got Time. I'm out. Peace.
Here, make
Pop it off at your
Pittsburgh.